All right, hopefully everybody's doing well. We're going to do lesson 93 today. You can take your bet what's going to happen first. Somebody calls me on my phone, although I did put it on airplane mode, or I write something incorrect on the board there from copying. Interesting, I just saw Mr. Goodwin. He was filming right next door here with the 7th grade math. All right, so behind me here you can see the warm-up. You should stop the video. Just it wouldn't take you long. Take a look at the warm-up questions. They're good stuff to do for part of what we're doing today. It looks tough. It's not that tough, okay? But just stop it, do it, and then we're going to get into dividing polynomials right there. Okay, got that? Because I'm going to erase it right now. All right, here we go. By the way, yes, I did put the wrong assignment up there. 1 through 8 was good for today. We'll get all that stuff straightened away. At the end of the week, we'll get some grades to put into the grade book. All right, so before we even get into lesson 93, I'm going to take you way, way back. Okay, remember when you had to learn how to do this? We learned long division a long time ago, and we said, oh, 3 goes into 4 1 times. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract, bring down to 5. 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. All done. Well, what we're going to do today is not much different than what you've seen right there. It got tougher when we did this. We said 3 goes into 4 1 time. We subtracted. We bring down to 7. We said 3 goes into 17 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15. But now, instead of having a 0, we had a 2. Okay? Long ago, we used to go remainder 2. That was with Miss Graham in 3rd grade. Then we got smarter, and we said, you know what? We're too old for remainders. So we would take 2 and turn it into a fraction. Okay, that's a lot of what we're going to do today, because we will do some division, and it won't always come out even, but we can just take our remainder and change it into a fraction. If you can remember that, this is cake. All right, so let's look at the first one that's in your book. We are on page 616. Okay, first one right here says 8. Did I copy this right? Part of this is my cubed, 8x cubed plus 12x squared plus 4x divided by 4x. Okay? Well, the simple way to do this doesn't always work as easily as this, but these aren't that difficult of problems. Is you take each one of these terms and divide it by what you have right here. So you can take 8x cubed divided by 4x plus 12x squared divided by 4x plus 4x divided by 4x. Okay? So, when you put all of this together, the first thing you can see is you can do some reducing. And we love to reduce. So right here, the 8 and the 4 can reduce to a 1. Actually, the 4 just goes all the way. And the 8 becomes a 2. I can take out this x, and I can take out one of these x's up here, which leaves me x squared. Over here, the 4 can go away, and the 12 becomes a 3. This x can go away, and that would take away the square right there. And of course, 4x and 4x both go away. So what am I left with here? I've got 2x squared plus, what am I left with here? 3x. Okay, and left with nothing here. Oh, I got nothing on the bottom, so I really could do that technically, make that 1 there, but we know we don't ever do that. So my answer should end up being Oh, this comes out to 1. Plus 1 right there, okay? So we end up with 2x squared plus 3 plus 1. All right? That's not that tough. So let's try one like that. I'm going to put this one up here. I want you to give it a shot. We're going to go 6x to the 4th plus 4x to the 3rd minus 2x squared. I'm going to divide that whole thing by 2x. All right, so go ahead. You're going to get a chance to stop it. Stop the video. See if you can solve that one and come up with the correct answer. All right, go. All right, once again, we're going to take each of these terms, 6x to the 4th over 2x plus 4x to the 3rd over 2x minus 2x squared, okay, over 2x. Time to reduce. And they make these specific so that it's easy for you to get a whole bunch of reducing. Okay, this becomes a 1, this becomes a 3. We can take this x out, and then this x will become a 3. Okay, this becomes a 1, this becomes a 2, okay. This x goes out, and this becomes a 2. And then again, the 2 and the 2 cancel. The x takes out 1x, and we're left with an x on top up here. So that when we go all the way across, okay, we get, notice down here, 1 times 1 times 1. So the bottom will be 1, which makes life easy. And then the top, we got 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus x. And of course, we don't really even need this thing here at the bottom, so we're going to just get rid of that. And there is your answer. Hopefully that's what you came up with right there. Okay? Not too terribly tough right there. All right. So let's move on to, everybody see it? Example number 2. All right. Example number 2A says x squared minus 6x plus 9 divided by x minus 3. All right, so what are we going to do different here? Yeah, pretty much not a lot. First thing we're going to do, though, is we can look at this and say, you know what, I can factor that out. What two numbers, when added together, will give me -6 and multiply are going to give me +9. Now that's going to be -3 and -3. Okay, you might notice something right away here. So now I'm going to divide that whole thing by x minus 3. Oh, life is good. Cross that out, get left with x minus 3. There's that moment you get when you say, aha, I see it. I know I did it right because it's coming out just the way it's supposed to. Okay, that is example A. Let's look at example B before I give you one to work on your own here. Okay, example B, we got x squared, make sure I copy this right, minus 5x plus 6 divided by 2 minus x. Okay, so once again, first thing we're going to do over here is we can factor this thing out. Okay, we're going to get x. If you look at that, you should realize that you're going to get negative times. To get this, both numbers have to be negative. So we get this, and what two numbers? We're going to get 3 and 2. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Again, multiplying these two together gives you this. Adding these two together gives you this. Okay? Now, we're going to divide that by 2 minus x. Now, unfortunately, that one didn't quite work out quite as well because this and this are not exactly the same thing. So what we have to do is, as you can see in there, x minus 3 times x minus 2, and we're going to multiply this by a negative. Okay? Negative 1. You can see it right there in your book. Well, we're actually, before we multiply it by a negative, we just turn it around. So we get negative, hold on here. Did I copy that right? I sure did. 2 minus x. Okay, and then we get the negative x. We put the x in front. The negative x goes in front and then plus 2. Now we have it in the right order. But again, I still don't have the same thing as here. So this is where you're going to go in and multiply it by a negative 1. Okay, and we get x minus 3, x minus 2, and down here we're going to get over x minus 2, because the negative 1 times the x gives me x, negative 1 times 2 is minus 2. Now we get to do this, and our final answer is, we get to do that, but we still have the negative out there, so we got to come up there and do that negative on top, and we end up with negative x plus 3, because you still have a negative on the bottom. So you got to change that to this, and the negative times the negative there is going to give you the positive right there. All right? I hope that last part still worked for you there. Okay, so let's do one and see if we can make that work as well here. Okay, where's the one I have for that? Oh, here we go. All right, it's kind of a long one. I hate to erase it, but I'm going to have to. All right, so we have x squared plus 5x minus 14 divided by x plus 7. Okay? So, again, we're going to factor this puppy out, and we're going to get x. The two numbers got to be a positive and a negative to get a negative here. The bigger number has to be the positive number, so you get plus 7 minus 2. And hopefully you figured that one out right away. Okay? And then, oh my goodness. I didn't give you a chance to do this, did I? Okay? I can't even read my own writing there. That should be minus 2. All right, so those of you who bet that I would copy the wrong problem first, you win. All right, so now we can come down over here and say x minus 2. Okay, you can see I have a second problem on there. Where did I go wrong here? Don't you feel like you're right back in class right now? X minus 2, x minus 2. Oh. See? So I can... Good golly. right, so there it is. Now, 2 minus x. Okay? All right. So now we can come up with this. Okay, from here we go to x plus 7, x minus 2, over, we got negative x plus 2. Okay, we multiply that by negative 1, so we're going to get x plus 7 times x minus 2, and we'll get when you multiply this out, we're going to get negative 1 x minus 2. Cross those two out. Now you still got the negative here, so you end up with a negative x plus 7, or if you wanted to, you could go negative x minus 7. Okay? Hopefully didn't confuse you too much with that one. I apologize for not getting that accurate. It's a good thing I didn't tell you to get busy on it until I showed it to you. All right, so let's move forward to the next one. Now, you're asking yourself, why did you show me all those division problems at the very beginning? Because there are 2 different ways to do this. The one I just showed you right now is good, but you notice that most of those problems were a setup. It wasn't something that could just happen on its own. Okay, what we're going to do right now, though, is use long division to do these problems. So look at example number 3. We have, no, you're not excused, you still have to stay here. Negative 25x plus 3x squared plus 8 divided by x, see if I mark that, minus 8. All right, double check myself here. All right, so here's what you're going to do with this, though, is we are going to write this differently. We're going to pretend like it's a division problem, which it is, and we're going to write it like this. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with the one that has the, I know this is cubed. See, there it is. I know this is cubed. No, it's not. Oh. Here's what they're making you do is we got to put this in the proper order. So we go divided by 3x squared minus 25x plus 8. Huh, that looks much better because we're going to start with one of the highest degree. Okay, what times x is going to give me 3x squared? Okay, and the answer to that is just going to be 3x. But I put this over here. So 3x times x is going to give me 3x squared, and 3x times negative 8 is going to give me negative 8, 16, 24x. And then again, we just come back, just like we did before, and with the other ones, and redo and subtract. So 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0. Now, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. So we're going to be left with negative x, because we've got 24 good guys and 25 bad guys. Now, just like with long division, we bring down the next one, plus 8. And we do the same thing, the highest degree. Okay, x goes into negative x. What's going to do it? Minus 1. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative times a negative is a positive, plus 8. Look at that. That one came out completely without any kind of remainder right there. Okay? That's nice when it happens that way. However, it doesn't always come out as wonderful as that one does. Okay, let's see, do I have an example for you for that one? 4x squared. I don't think I have one for that one, but that's okay. You can figure that one out. Let's go to the second one because that one's just a little bit tougher. That's the one that has, this is example number 4. Okay, this is the one that is going to have, you kind of know it's coming, a remainder. Okay, so when you look at example number 4, we get 2x squared minus 9 minus 7x divided by negative 4 plus x. Okay, so again, we're going to write this like a good old-fashioned division problem. In this case, again, we're going to put the x in front. So we'll go x minus 4. I hope everybody figures out how I got that into that by just flipping the two terms. Divided by 2x squared minus 9 minus 7x. And you know what we got to do there? We got to put that in the right order too. Okay, so we're going to get minus 7x minus 9. Okay, everybody's in the right order. Okay, so now we get to do some multiplying. Okay, what times x will give you 2x squared? Well, correct answer is 2x. So I take 2x times x is going to give me 2x squared. 2x times negative 4 is going to give me negative 8x. Okay, now when I subtract there, I will get, these will, 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive here. So I got 7 bad guys, 8 good guys, leaves me with 1 good guy. Bring down the next number. Okay, x goes into x how many times? 1. Okay, 1 times x is x. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. X minus x is 0. Subtracting a negative, the same thing as adding a positive, and I end up with negative 5. Now, this is my remainder, but we don't do remainder negative 5. We're too old for that. So we turn it into a fraction, just like we did before. We get negative 5 over x minus 4. Okay? So that is the remainder that goes in there. All right, you want to try one of those? Let's try one of these. All right, I will work really hard to get this accurately up on the board this time. All right, I'm going to put it in order already as a division problem. So we got x minus 3 into 4x squared plus 7x plus 17. All right, so I want you to solve that one. All right, so let's take a look at it. Again, we start with the highest degree. X times what is going to give me this? The correct answer is going to be 4x. So I put that over here. 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x minus 3 is going to give me 12x. Okay, so again, I subtract. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive, so I end up with 19x right there, plus 17. Okay, so again, what times x will give me 19? Correct answer here is plus 19. That's a terrible plus. There we go. Plus 19. 19 times x is 19x. And times a negative, that comes to come out to 57. Okay, 19x minus 19x is going to give me 0. Again, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive, so I end up with plus 74 right here. Okay, positive 74. And again, my remainder will then be remainder 74 x minus 3. Okay? And that would be a plus, because that's what you're left over with. Okay? All right. So, let's try one more. And they're going to throw one more little wrinkle at you right here. I'm going to erase this. And let's look at example number 5. Okay, example number 5 there. We get, and I'm going to go right in, you can see it here, but I'm going to go right into x minus 3 divide into, it's about half a step down there, but you know how they put this into the proper order here. Now, here's the thing. You got x minus x to the third. If you look at what they got there, the next one is x. Well, we need a place saver there. So what we have to do here is plus 0 x to the second. There was no x to the second in that original equation. I probably should write it up here just so you can see. Okay, the negative 2x plus 5 plus 3x cubed. Okay, that was the original that was up here. When you put it in order down here, there is no x to the second. But you can't just skip that spot. So you just plug one in. There's nothing there, but you still have to keep that spot open. You can't just step over a column. So then we have the minus 2x plus 5. Okay? So now we're going to go through this thing. And let's see. What times x is going to give me this? It's going to be 3x squared. Got 3x cubed. And then positive negatives, we'll get negative x squared. Okay? Do our subtracting. 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is 0. Again, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive, so we end up with 2x squared. All right, now I bring down the next one. Negative 2x. Okay, x times what gives me 9x squared? Correct answer is going to be plus 9x. Okay, 9x times x is 9x squared. Okay, 9x times 3, or negative 3, is going to be negative 9, 18, what, 27x? And again, I subtract. 9x squared minus 9x squared is 0. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive. And so here I'm going to end up with 25x. Okay, bring down the 5 plus 5. Okay, x is going to go into there 25 times. It's a positive, so we got plus 25. 25 times x. 25 minus times negative 3 is going to be negative 75 right there. Okay, so again, we subtract the 25x minus 25x. Subtracting negative, same thing as adding a positive. So we'll end up with plus 80. Let's see if I've been doing this right. I did. Okay, so now we got our fraction here at the end. Got this plus 80 over x minus 3. Not that tough. Okay, you ready to try one like this? This is as tough as it gets right here. Okay, I'm going to give you one. It's going to be the same type of deal right here. All right. Ready. Already got it in there. I'm going to already put it as 4 plus x divided into 6x squared minus 7 plus 3x cubed. Now, first thing you're going to look at and say, things are out of order. Okay, we got to put them in the right order so we can do this. This is addition, so that's easy to change. We get x plus 4. Okay, and then we got to put this in the standard order. We start with the highest degree, 3x cubed. Okay, plus 6x squared minus 7. Go. I did the first part for you, but you can finish this thing up on your own right now. All right, the trick here was, I hope you remember to do this. X plus 4, 3x to the third plus 6x to the second. But we're missing something in here. We are missing something, plus 0x. We have to have that in here or this doesn't work. Minus 7, okay? Notice we went 3, 2, we didn't have our 1 before we got to 0. And it has to be there. So hopefully you caught that right away. All right, so now we come through here. X times what is going to give me 3x cubed? It's going to be 3x squared. Okay, multiply that out. 3 cubed. Now 3x squared times 4 is going to give me 12x squared. Okay, I'm going to subtract here, and this will subtract. This gives me negative 6x squared. Okay, I had 6 good guys. I subtracted 12 good guys. I'm left with this. All right, now I bring down my 0x. X times what is going to give me this? It's going to be minus 6x. Minus 6x times x is minus 6x squared. Negative 6 times 4 is going to be negative 24x. And again, I am going to subtract. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive here. So these two will cancel each other out. Okay, subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding a positive here. So I end up with 24x. And now I bring down the next one. Okay, what times x is going to give me 24x? That's going to be positive 24. 24 times x. Now, 24 times 4, that's a big number. 96. Are you guys doing that quickly? All right. So, we get 24x minus 24x is 0. Now, negative 7 minus 96, okay, is going to give you a negative 103, right? Okay, we had 7 bad guys, and when we subtract 96 from those 7 bad guys, we're down to negative 103. So that when we get our, and it's a negative, so we put a minus here. 103 over x plus 4. Okay? Is that working? If not, I sent you, that video is from Khan Academy that goes with this particular lesson. It's a good video too. So you can watch that too if you're still just a little bit confused or if there's something out there that didn't make sense for you. The assignment for Wednesday. Page 620 and 621, A through G. Now watch this, 1 through 8, and I also want you to do 12 and 13. 12 and 13 aren't tough. You should be, those would be good ones. So, all right, have fun with that. Again, you got questions, call me. I won't be in this room for the next couple days because I can't be on campus right now. But if you got any questions, let me know. Bye.